Your new movie, Joey Palomino, is at Amazon Prime Video. Tell us about the making of the film and how you came to play the lead character.
Joey Palomino was a really interesting project for me. When I was young, my father had a makeshift gym in our garage because he actually was a professional fighter for 4 years. And after he got out of the game, he wanted to start training, young people so they can learn the sport. So he built this makeshift gym, and we all start boxing there. My father would train me and a lot of neighborhood kids. And as time went on, I continued to box, and then I got out of that. And then when I start making films later on in life, I start thinking a lot about, hey, it would be great to make a boxing movie because I had a lot of experience with boxing, and my father taught me a lot. Not that I was just, one of the better fighters. I wasn't. I just knew the art of boxing. I wasn't really a tough guy or nothing like that. But I thought it would be great just to make a film about boxing. So I came up with an idea about this ex-fighter who had to go to prison, and then when he comes back, he's taunted by another fighter who he was supposed to fight before he went to prison, and everybody was saying that my character would have beat him if we would have fought. So after being taunted by this character, Wilson Dukes, my character finally, breaks down and says, well, I think I'm going to fight him, because he gets a generous offer from a fight promoter, financial offer. So, and the reason why I had this guy come out of prison and he was older is because I was older, obviously. So I had to play the role, but I was saying, how could I bring an older guy into this boxing movie? And that was the way I did it. Once again, the guy went to prison. He comes out of prison because he had gotten some bad trouble. And when he gets out, finally, Wilson Dukes, has an opportunity to prove to the world that he could have beat him had they fought before he went to prison. So, anyway, my character actually dominated the fight, though. But that's pretty much how I got to shoot the movie. I mean, the movie took a long time to make because it was really done on a very low budget, and I had to get a lot of cooperation from location owners, actors, and in general. I mean, there was just not a big budget for it at all, so it took a long while to make it. Whenever I can get locations or get the actors or get crew people. So that's pretty much the gist of it, how I came to write Joey Palomino and shoot the movie.
Would you make another boxing film?
Yeah, I mean, I considered the possibilities of doing a sequel to Joey Palomino, but I think this trip around, if I did, I'd have to have more of a bigger budget. I would need people that I know were going to be there when I needed them, not take so long to make the movie. There would be a lot more entailed on how we would actually shoot the boxing scenes and so much more. I'd want to go to a couple different cities too, like Philadelphia, to shoot some scenes. So, yeah, I mean, that's really the only way I would do it. To shoot it on a shoestring budget, like I did with this one, it would be too much of an effort. So maybe something in the future, if it comes up, we might discuss it.
Your 2013 movie, The Bookie, was just picked up by Amazon Prime. How does it feel getting The Bookie into digital distribution?
Well, I mean, it feels great. I mean, because otherwise, it's hard for independent filmmakers really to get their material out there today. To get a distributor, and really make any kind of decent money back, that they put out to make the film in the first place. And you can't just get DVDs made and have them sit around, because when you're independent, it's unlikely you're going to get any real solid distributor today that's going to distribute DVDs. You know, it's a very difficult market to begin with now because of digital streaming and so forth. So what had transpired with The Bookie was that I told my editor, I said, you know, The Bookie's a good movie, because he had actually edited this film, which actually I screened in 2013 in the theater. But there was really never any real sales for it. You know, it was all DVD, and to make DVDs, once again, to make DVDs and go out and try to sell them is a very difficult process for an independent filmmaker. So I said to my editor, I said, the film's just sitting on a shelf. It's a great movie. I said, why don't we put captions in it and see if Amazon will take that as well, because they did take Joey Palomino. So we went through with that, and we put the captions in the movie, and we put everything together and submitted it to Amazon, and fortunately they picked it up. So yeah, I'm really grateful about that. I mean, at least I know my film is in distribution and people can rent it now or buy it if they want, as well as Joey Palomino. So yeah, thank God for digital distribution.
How did you come to write The Bookie?
So when I was young, I came from an environment of where there was a lot of bookmaking activity. There was a local pool hall where I lived, and I would frequent that. I was there pretty much every day. I became a pretty good pool player, and I got involved in some gambling, and there was a lot of bookies in the area, you know, so I witnessed a lot of this stuff and was around it. So when I got older and I started making films, I thought, well, that could be a good film. I said, you know, just get a guy that's a bookie, that's involved in real estate, just to kind of, you know, show some real revenue while he's doing this other illegal activity, you know. And I just thought, yeah, it would be great to make something like this, you know, just kind of like give it a little more, I would say, some extra things to put in there, you know, build it up a little more than what I just experienced in real life. So there's just a lot to it. I just really made this character into somebody really powerful, you know, in what he was doing. And he had a crew under him, obviously, and done really well. But in the ending of the movie, things kind of go the other way for him, you know, which he was trying to do for a long time, because he has a girlfriend who's influencing him to get out of the business. So, you know, there's also that love affair within the movie too. So, excuse me. There's just a lot to it. I mean, you know, the guy in itself, the character, is a complicated character to begin with, but in the midst of him being a bookie, he's also involved with some dangerous people because of what they're doing, and they're causing issues with one of his writers, so to speak, one of his bookies. So, a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in the film. It really is. So, that's how I really came to write the movie and obviously produce it.
A lot of people are asking if you're planning to continue your efforts in the music business. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, in fact, I've written a lot of original music. I've been playing drums all my life. I've been writing for quite a few years now. And so recently what I've done is I did my first drum video, so to speak. It's called Jonathan Cross at the Drum Cam. It's on YouTube. And that was done with a musician friend of mine named John O'Hara. And so that's the first thing I've actually done to come back into that music atmosphere. I've been talking about it for a long time, so right now what I'm doing is John's going to work with me on an original song, and I'm looking for a bass player now and a singer that plays guitar as well. And I want to do my first music video using one of the songs that I've actually written. And from there, I want to continue to rehearse the band and see if we can get out and do some live gigs. In the meantime, I'm actually trying to submit some stuff to record companies to see if they have some have some interest in possibly signing me. So yeah, there's a lot I'm doing with music right now.
Lastly, how are things going with your new film production, The Script? And give us a brief on your first two short films, Cry of the Drummer, and your two short films, Colin Augie and Mickey Boy, as well as Day of Salvation.
So the movie, The Script, everything's going well with that right now. We're basically, I've shot most of the scenes that don't have the female lead in them. So I've been actually interviewing some females to hopefully play the lead role, the female lead in the movie. And once we establish that, then all the rest of the scenes primarily are shot with that female lead. So, and then there's 4 other scenes with a male antagonist that's in the movie. And he has to be casted as well. So basically, it's just waiting on that, and it looks like things are going to start picking up again very soon so we can finish off the production. But in general, I mean, it's doing really well. Things are moving along really well with them. I'm happy at this point. So with my other films, Mickey Boy, Calling Augie, Cry of the Drummer, Day of Salvation, and there's another one actually that just went up on YouTube. It's called Goodbye Charlie Damien, which was finished in 2003. It's basically been just sitting like on a shelf for over 20 years now. So the trailer's been up on YouTube for a long time, but I've just put up the movie on YouTube. And in addition to that, there's a strong possibility I'm going to reshoot that movie. It'll be shot in 2 or 4K. And it'll be a much better production, because back then, production was a little weak because it was actually shot on mini DVD tapes. So now with the onslaught of high definition and all, I think it'd be a great film. It's a Christian-based film. It'd be a great film for the Christian market as well. But I wanted to give people a glance of what the movie is, because it's a great story. And it does look good. I mean, it doesn't look bad, for how it was shot. But it's a great story, and it's something I thought was worthy of people seeing right now. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. And Mickey Boy and Calling Augie on YouTube as well. They are short films. And I've written scripts for both of them, full-length scripts, so maybe sometime in the future there may be a movie that will be produced, feature movies from them too. Excuse me, Cry of the Drummer and Day of Salvation. So what I'm working on now is to get captions in them 2 films and submit them to Film Hub. Because it's my understanding they do take films that may not be shot in high definition, just shot in standard definition, which they were. So that's the story with them 2 right now. I'm just waiting on getting captions put on them and submitting to Film Hub, so they'll be available for rent and people to purchase. They'll be in a lot of different type of outlets, because Film Hub covers a lot of different film distribution centers that they work with. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well with them 2 movies. So I'm trying my best to get everything out there so people can see my work. Like I said, to go back to what we said earlier, you don't have to just make movies now as an independent and print a few DVDs and give them away, maybe sell a few. You can get them into distributions around the world now. So it's great. So local filmmakers, or should I say local filmmakers from everywhere in the world that are independent, can get their stuff out there now, which is great. And then they may be able to make some revenue from it. So that's where I'm at with them films as well.
Okay, Jonathan, thanks so much.
You bet.